What's up guys, NepentheZ here and welcome back to another FC25 video. Today we are going to be talking about the greatest thing EA have introduced, in my opinion, into Ultimate Team ever, and that is evolutions. That's right, I think last year was a bit of a rocky year for Evos. Now I don't know if EA expected them to be so well received. I don't know if EA kind of anticipated some of the problems that they had last year with like redoing Evo cards or players getting like capped because of playstyle pluses and things like that. But Evos are back this year with a vengeance, and EA have made some fantastic changes to the way the system works. So I'm going to go through today a little bit about what I like about Evos, the way the system does work, some tips for you guys on how to get the best out of your cards. And then we're going to take a look at some of the best Evos from the community and the best Evos just in the game in general. And as you can see right here, guys, we've currently got a whole bunch of Evos. Some of you guys won't have all of them if you didn't get like the pre-order or maybe didn't play last year. There's a few cosmetic Evos as well. And that's another thing that we have got this year that I think EA could do a lot with, but I don't think they've got it right so far with cosmetics. But we've now got two different kind of versions of Evos. And those versions, guys, are the standard Evos that we got like last year. For example, the club member reward there where you have a maximum overall of 82, has to be a right back, 7 playstyles and no playstyle pluses. And it just gives a general upgrade, right? 1 shooting, 2 defending, 3 passing, 1 dribbling, 2 physical, 2 dribbling, and so on and so forth. But you see there the pace +4. That is the new stat limits. And what that is basically if you've got a stat limit, you can put anybody in there so long as they fit within the initial requirements. And if they've got more than the stat limit, they still are eligible for the evolution. They just won't gain anything from it. And I think that is absolutely phenomenal. And this one here, the power surge, is the prime example. You see how it gives actually overall. Let's pop Doku in there because he's a perfect fit for it. You see how it gives 0 pace to Doku because it gives pace only to a maximum of 85. But if we picked somebody with low pace like Fofana, it would give him 4 pace off the first tab, no paces in the second tab, and 4 pace off the third tab. So this would give him a total maximum of 8 pace. But he gets it. But because Doku already has more than the stat limit, Doku gets no pace, but he still gets the benefits of the shooting, physical, and passing. He still gets the benefits of the defending, physical, shooting, and passing. No dribbling because he's already above the stat limit there. And he also doesn't get the benefit of the weak foot either because he's already got the highest weak foot. But it just means that you can still actually get a small boost on your Jeremy Doku in spite of the fact that he isn't actually eligible for some of the stats. And so last year, in this example, if EA released something like Power Surge, maximum overall of 80, they would have hit it. Pace is maximum 93, but they now wanted pace to a maximum of 85 with a +8 overall pace boost. So if this if this evolution was here from last year, what we'd end up having is it would actually be a maximum pace of 77, so that once the 8 added pace goes on, it caps at 85. So I really love the way that they've changed this system, and it's going to allow you to create some incredible Evos throughout the course of the year. For cheap, safe, and fast FC25 coins, go to U4GM. They have over 8,000 comments on Trustpilot with a 4.6 rating, and to get 5% off your order, use code NEP at checkout. Check out the link in the description. Now let's get back to the video. And so the reason why I feel like it's actually quite pertinent to give some tips as well, guys, is because you're going to end up having some really cool options, some really cool chains. But because some of these evolutions have stat limits, what you're going to want to try and be clever with is putting a player into a stat limit Evo first and then putting them into a traditional Evo where there's like a maximum limit. I don't know how to explain it because they're both stat limits, like an attribute limit, not even a limit, but like a challenge. I don't even know what they're called, like a requirement. So instead of a stat limit, a player requirement, you want to put your stat limits in first to get the most out of it, then put it into a requirement, because the requirement ones, the traditional ones, give a static boost no matter what, but the stat limits give a boost up to something. So there's some situations where giving a few players, some stat limit boosts could be really cool. And so when I look at my evolutions, obviously I want to evolve Arsenal players. I've got Conser on there because I was just looking at something for him for a different video. And then I've got Ben White, who's the only player that I've evolved so far up to an 84 rated. He went into Sprint Supreme. And this was, again, a situation where he only gained 3 sprint speed and 8 acceleration, even though Sprint Supreme gave 10 sprint speed and 10 acceleration. So it was a nice boost. And one of the other things that I really like what EA have done this year is the boost I got here on Ben White. There was no limit on the amount of playstyles or playstyle pluses he could have had. No attribute limit that he could have had. No positional introduction or anything that he could have. And it didn't give him something that's going to furthermore lock him out of evolutions. It didn't make him an 86 rated, just for no good reason. It didn't give him like a pace split that's just going to be so high that he's never going to fit into another Evo. And what it did do is it took his really weird pace split of 70 acceleration and 75 sprint speed and leveled it out to 78. Now all of a sudden with a Shadow Chem style, Ben White's a really, really usable centre-back in the game. Whereas previously, you wouldn't use him at right back because he's too slow. You probably wouldn't use him at centre back because he's got low acceleration and reasonably low sprint speed. So I think EA have done a wonderful job in that situation, and that kind of like the way they've brought evolutions to the forefront, because what it's going to allow you to do, especially if we think about my series from last year, the lowest rated Evo RTG. And if you look on the screen right now, guys, this was the lowest rated Evo RTG at the end of the game cycle, right? It was so hard to evo these cards because some of them had like small boosts, like the guy in the midfield there, 84 rated. He had 3 or 4 playstyle pluses. So if they released an evolution, whereas like max 3 playstyle pluses, he's not eligible. Even though his stats were terrible, we still had a 66 rated, a 72 rated, a 78 rated in the team at the end of the game cycle. We had an 81 rated left mid at the end of the game cycle. And it wasn't even just that these cards were low rated, they were terrible. They had really awful stats in so many different areas, even if they were quite high rated. There was a few quality cards. Singh was good by the end of it. Wang Tender as the centre midfielder there, the 94 rated was good. And Leng Zhixuan, the 91 striker, was insane. He was so meta for the game. It was really lucky. But if you look at the bench is just flooded with 60s and 50s. And that is because once we applied an Evo to one of these players, and it gave them 1, 2, or 3 playstyle pluses, they were just ineligible beyond. And EA even gave some requirements where it was like a minimum of a certain stat. So one of the shooting Evos required a minimum of 70 shooting, and our strikers on the lowest rated RTG just didn't have 70 shooting because they're terrible. And so with the way the system is now, you're going to be able to take one of the lower rated players, and Pare is going to be our right back for this year on the Crappers. He's going to be our lowest rated player. And we're going to be able to put him into so many Evos over the year. Even if it's for really small incremental upgrades, it's still going to be better. And even by now, we can get him, look at that boost already. We can get him up to a 76. It doesn't give him a playstyle plus. It does give him a position, a role plus. And it does have an issue with the dribbling. You can see there, he's got really good agility and balance, but otherwise pretty poor dribbling. And that was the case before. But this card is going to be eligible because of stat limits. Like if they introduce now a new evolution, where it's like, it caps it at 88 pace. Last year, that would have been a maximum of like 78 pace. So he wouldn't have been eligible. And we'd be sitting here waiting for them to like up the whole like overall game. Well, this year, they'll just have it as a stat limit of 88 pace. So he'll get a small boost in pace and then a big boost in all the other areas. So for those of you that love Evos and loved Evos last year and did your club squads or your nation squads or did like past and present squads, so many of you guys sent me teams all the time around some really cool like squads. Like we had a viewer did a Holsten Kiel squad from the Bundesliga 3, I believe. And by the end of the year, his team was terrible. But this year, you're going to be able to Evo your favorite cards no matter what. If you're a fan of like a big club, like for Arsenal, for me, for example, we had so many promo cards last year, the Evos just couldn't keep up. I feel like this year, I'm not going to say that they're going to keep up necessarily with the promo cards, but they're not going to be as far away as they were last year, which is going to allow me to do what I wanted to do last year. And that's just play with my Arsenal gold team and Evo it throughout the course of the whole game cycle and keep those players at least semi-relevant whilst I do it. However, if you're a fan of like a smaller club whether that be Premier League into the other leagues, the MLS or something like that, you're going to be able to take your players. Like if we go and look at let's take a look at Carlos Hill from the New England Revs. If you're like a Revs fan, you're going to be able to take these players and they are going to become amazing because of the way the new system works. So I really like it. I really like the way EA have done evolutions in terms of actually growing the players. I am a little surprised, excuse me guys, I'm a little surprised at the lack of evolution so far, but I actually feel like it's because there's an issue with them. I've seen some rumors and some reports of people putting a player in the stat limit evos, and it's actually like hard capping it at that stat limit. So for example, with my Ben White right now, because I put him into the evolution that capped his pace at 78, if I now put him into another evolution that should give him a pace boost, it won't, because it's like hard capped it, which makes, if there's an issue like that, it would make sense to me why EA are kind of like not releasing more evos. And then we've got Tomiyasu, guys. Oh, it's just nice. It's just nice. By the way, check out Footbin for their new evolution system. It's brilliant. But we can get Tomiyasu from a 78 up to an 84, and another Arsenal player that will actually be super, super usable with a 5-star weak foot, pop a shadow on him. He'll have great pace, very good defending, good physicals, very good dribbling, and good passing. So with him, White, Saliba, Gabriel, we've already got a banging back line, you know, because Tomiyasu, I believe he has left back, right? Yeah, he does. So we could play White and Tomiyasu left back, right back, and then Gabriel and Saliba in there otherwise. But I also would love to Evo Yuri and Timber. I don't know if he's had any upgrades available so far. Oh, he's had some. Oh, he's had some nice ones. Oh, that's really good. What was his path? Power Surge. Oh, wow. He's going to have to go into Power Surge, isn't he? Look at that for a card. Unbelievable. Hilariously doesn't have right back or left back this year, just centre back, which is the only position he isn't playing for Arsenal. But there you go. And so, yeah, guys, the Evo systems here. Now, as I said before, we do also have the cosmetics. And again, it's kind of a bit weird that EA haven't done more with this. They keep putting out that Team of the Week SBC, which gives you a cosmetic on your Team of the Week card. I think is a bit silly. I really like this badge. Just to give you guys a tip, again, another tip, because I've seen so many people be confused with this year. When you apply an evolution to a player, even if it's a cosmetic evolution, that player becomes untradeable. I had a viewer have Bobby Charlton, put one of these little club badges on him, and he was like, I can't sell him now, it's untradeable. That's the way it goes. Evolutions just become untradeable, right? So be careful when you're putting these on. Now, I like these little badges. I think they're a good representation of like a player that might have done well for you rather than the whole club. It would be nice if you could stack multiple badges on a player. So, you know, like the way Playstyles and Playstyle Pluses were, down the left-hand side. It would be nice if I could put like the club legend and the goal scorer one, and they just go one below the other one, or like, you know, the double badge situation where it looks like two ones behind the other one. And then when you click on the card, you can see the cosmetic evos. But this is generally good. And, you know, the first ones, they're pretty basic. This badge on the side, it's a bit of an eyesore. I'm sure EA could do a little bit better with it. But if they can do a little bit better with it, and we know their graphics team is very good, some of the cosmetics evos we could have throughout the year could be insane. We already had like a cosmetic for a purple card design. I didn't like it very much. It was 40,000 coins or 400 FIFA points. And it just wasn't for me. I'm not going to spend coins on a cosmetic evo unless it is absolutely banging. But the fact that they have introduced the stat limits, the cosmetics, which could genuinely be phenomenal, and it could be phenomenal from a rewarding sense, you know, because it's just a cosmetic and something that Fortnite had so well that EA have struggled to get into over the last 4 or 5 years. But because it's cosmetics, they could give so many like rewards out. Like when they do the brand new rush objective, the rush objective for like centre backs, for example, where you're only allowed to use centre backs. I don't know if it's still there, but if they gave that as an object, like as the rush mode, and then as an objective, yeah, there you go. Defense is offense. There's still 22 hours left. If they gave this as it is, and then as an objective gave a cosmetic evo for winning 10 games of this right here, or like a specific evo that is a small boost perhaps in defending and a cosmetic that can only be achieved here, I'd be all about that. Like there's like, you know, I've talked a lot about how Rush is a little bit underwhelming at the moment, and there's seemingly no reason to play Rush. Like the points are really easy to get unless you've got friends. It's quite a toxic environment in the game modes, and there's just no overarching return on your time there. And you know, there's definitely an argument that should be playing it should be the good enough return on your time. But if they added a couple of cosmetic evos, one for 5 wins, 10 wins, and maybe 50 wins, imagine that. 50 wins in defense offense gives you like some elite level like cosmetic evo to put on to only a centre back. I would be all for that. And so that's why I'm really excited this year about evolutions, because I do think that EA have the full capabilities to have them absolutely banging this year. Now, when we look at the popular evos available on Footbin from the community voting, Gomez is there. This Pedro Lima is a great example of how valuable it is. Gravenberch is there as well. They're the top 3. There's quite a lot of really good evos in here. There's Gomez again. He's obviously got a lot of evo paths. This Gabriel Jesus, for me, with Power Shot Plus being so overpowered, this Gabby Jesus looks insane. You pop a Hunter Chem style on him. Where is it? Great pace, great shooting, good physicals, good dribbling, Power Shot Plus. What a card. I cannot wait I need to pack his card before I can put this on, but it looks incredible. But the top 3 so far, guys, look at the boost from Gomez. Look at the path that he has to go through as well. Our Surgeon Club member reward. They're both free, right? Both free evos. He gains 7 pace, 2 defending and physical, massive dribbling boost and massive passing boost. As far as a centre back goes, and he's got left back and right back with a roll plus plus as well. This Gomez card is so elite. It's not even funny. You can even get him mostly lengthy with an anchor with 98 sprint speed, 86 acceleration, insane defending and physicals. And it's free beyond his 80 rated base gold card, which is currently 4,000 coins. And it is a prime example of how good evolutions are going to be this year. Because if EA now release an Evo, for example, where there's maximum pace, but it gives a nice defending and physical boost, Gomez is still going to be eligible for it. Whereas if you built this card last year, you'd be like ejected from so many Evo options because he just has too much pace. So you'd probably have to wait 3 or 4 or 5 months for Gomez to be eligible for another Evo. Whereas in the new system, as soon as the stat limit one comes, you could pop him back in, boost his defending, boost his physical. Going to create some really strong cards in the early stages. We've also got Pedro Lima. He goes into club member reward and glow up, and it gives him a huge boost in defending, physical, shooting, and passing, but not in pace and dribbling because of the stat limits. Gives him roll plus plus at right back as well. He's got really good pace. And again, if you're a Wolves fan, what a card for you now. You're really, really happy with that. And if you apply an anchor chem style to him, great pace, good defending, good physical, good passing, bit poor on dribbling. But as a football fan, let's say you're a Wolves fan, what do you want to do? You want to play Pedro Lima with these stats? Or you want to go and play with like a boring like Hakimi or a boring Kyle Walker or something? Of course you're going to want to play with this card. I would sacrifice wins and sanity every day of the week to play with a much better version of my favorite player than like a marginally or even significantly better player in general. And then Ryan Gravenberch, I think he's probably the best Evo so far. He goes in from box to box into the Octopus. The Octopus is a 50k Evo, but look at the boost he gets. 12 pace, 10 defending, 10 physical, 5 dribbling, and 6 passing. And all of a sudden, at 4-star with CDM and a holding plus, which is great for this card. Just a really good card again. I bang an engine on him personally. Great pace, very good dribbling, good physicals, great passing. It's just a really, really good card from a base 78 rated. Now, is it possible that Gravenberch gets like an 87 rated promo card or an 86 rated promo card in the coming week or two, and you're sitting there going, oh, like, you know, the promo cards have got Playstyle Plus, like, what do I do? Yeah, it is. But for me, one of the things that I've like longed for and yearned for in Ultimate Team for a lot of years is having players that I can take with me throughout the game cycle. Last year, I thought EA had achieved that with Evolutions, but it became apparent very, very quickly that that wasn't going to be the case because of the way they did it. This year, I think that's the case. And so again, it's a situation for me where what I'm going to focus on this year as my primary goal, and let me show you as well on my Arsenal Evo RTG, even though I've only Evo'd one player so far because I haven't packed them, I've got 380,000 coins. And if I sold a few promo cards I've invested in, like over 500,000 coins, and I've nearly got a lot, like the full Arsenal team. I'm missing like 5 or 6 of the key first players and then all of the kind of low rated cards and bronzes. I'm just going to play with these cards as much as I can. And then when a promo card comes, for example, Martinelli's getting a team of the week this week, if I can't pack him to use him, I'll just buy him. Play with the inform over the regular Martinelli for a week, then sell the inform, go back to the regular Martinelli. If Saka or actually I believe Kai Havertz is getting a road to the knockouts card, when that card comes, because it's going to be significantly better than my 83 Havertz, I'll put in the road to the knockout card for a week or two, whilst I hopefully get the ability to upgrade my 83 Havertz. Then when they get reasonably close, I'll sell the other one off and move back into this one. Whereas last year, some of the Evos just got left behind to the point where 2 or 3 or 4 promo cards had surpassed them, and it was a bit plain and it was a bit boring. And so I just wanted to make this video today, guys, just to kind of give my thoughts and opinions now that we've had a week or nearly 2 weeks on how Evos are, how they're working, and how the system is going to be. You know, I jump the gun sometimes with my opinions on things, and like I'll see something like last year with the Evos. I was like, yeah, this is the greatest thing since sliced bread. And it was actually pretty painful throughout the year. I feel like the way EA have done it this year, there's still some work to do, but I feel like the way EA have done it this year with more Evos being promised as well, I think it's going to be an insane year for Evos. And so to end with, I'm going to show you some of my favorites that the community have got that they've built up on their accounts. And the first one that was sent to me, guys, was this guy right here, Mark Gerardo. My guy's got him up to an 84 rated, 85, 70. Wow, it's weird. He's got different stats, but 84 rated with the right back plus. Look at the glow up on this card. A huge boost. He's got an anchor chem style on him as well. And so a really tidy card. And again, like passing's a bit weak. But what really impressed me about this one and why I wanted to show this to you is because ignore the false back roll, false back plus and fullback plus roll. Look at these playstyles. He's got incisive pass, long ball pass, whip pass, rapid, jockey, and trivela. They are incredible playstyles for a card that was bronze before. How many playstyles did he have before? Long ball pass and trivela. Fair enough. I mean, that is a humongous glow up for Mark Gerardo right there. The next one I want to look at, guys, and I've actually been sent this one a few times in previous days from viewers, and that is Calvin Phillips. I mean, the fall from grace for him has been a bit mad. You know, obviously he was having a whale of a time at Leeds, got his big move to City, got his England call up, and then it just didn't work from there. But Calvin Phillips has got an absolute glow up of a card, 15 pace, 10 physicals, and a really good boost across elsewhere. With CDM++, what playstyles has he got? Long ball, first touch, intercept, slide tackle, and relentless, which is a big one. And now that he's got these stats, okay, the sprint speed is a bit poor, but the defending's very good. The physical's very good. I probably would give him an engine even as a centre midfielder, because then the dribbling's very good, the passing's very good. It is a really, really nice card, that one. A really nice card. Guys, I'm going to have to show you this one because I won't be able to showcase it otherwise. This is the Evo that cost money, the Cosmetic Evo. And when I first saw it at 40k, I was like, I'm not spending 40k on that. Now I wish I did. I wish I got a player and put it on them. Because that Sørloth, he's obviously been put into the Evo that gives Power Shot Plus. He's got very good pace and shooting, very good physical. But that card design is just so nice. It's so nice. And Sørloth obviously went into the Ultimate Edition Evo, got that Power Shot Plus. I mean, his physical's crazy. With a Hunter, he's still lengthy. That is one hell of a card. And I'll tell you something, guys, I think the big man meta is still here. I think it's still here for sure. I've also been shown this one here, guys, from Votable Ginger, my main man running the midfield. He's already got 73 games on Renato Sanchez. I haven't seen what this card looks like. We're going to go and have a look at him in game in a second. 4-star, 4-star. That pace, oh my God. I mean, he's nearly Hullet gang. I know he's had some insane cards over the course of the game cycle. But this card here, is that the same one? Yes, it is. It goes into the octopus and then from box to box. I mean, that is a huge glow up. That is a really good card. He's got four roles with 1++. He's got first touch, relentless, and intercept, some really key ones. It's a shame he doesn't have a passing play style. But in terms of the stats, my guy had a shadow on him. I mean, that is a crazy card. That is a crazy card. And that's what I mean. Like, evos are a bit of a weird situation right now because you can get evos like Sanchez, like Phillips, like Jesus. When we look at Road to the Knockouts, I really feel like EA have a duty to a degree to make cards like these guys here different in one way or another. Now, Sesko actually looks really, really good. But, for example, this Stefan Posch, it's a pointless card by many accounts because you could just get, I don't know if you could evo him actually to that sort of quality. I mean, you can. In fact, let's look at this. If we add Stefan Posch, now obviously this is a live card versus an evo card, but the evo card has more pace, same shooting, less passing, same dribbling, less defending, less physical. All right, fair enough, fair enough. This is actually a much better card. It's just a little lacking in pace. But because of how good some early evos are, I wish EA would just do something with these. But that's not part of the video for today. That's a video for another day discussing how we can make all sorts of promo cards relevant. And I have got so many good ideas on that. Or at least I think they're good ideas. But for today, guys, we're going to wrap it up there. I've waffled on for enough of your time. I just wanted to give you kind of like my impressions on evos, some hints and tips, and taking a look at some of the best evos that are available right now. Hopefully we get some new evolutions this week. You know, we haven't had any new evo for a few days since the glow up, which is a good evo. It is a really good evo, and Power Surge was good. I mean, they've actually all been very good. I can't even be displeased with any of them. I've been very impressed with the evo so far. And then when we look at the expired, there's none there because the cosmetics don't show up on here just yet. But for today, guys, that is going to be the end of the video. If you did enjoy it, be sure to leave a like, rate, and comment. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And for now, guys, I'm out. Peace.